Welcome back, Renegades. Today we have the deck profile for Gardevoir EX. We also will have a matchup against Zacian EX. Matches and deck profile will be timestamped in the description. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel tremendously. All right, let's get into it. All right, so we have the deck profile for Gardevoir EX. We are running one copy of Lily's Clefairy EX. Weakness of each of your opponent's Dragon Pokemon in play is now Psychic. This helps us into the Dragapult matchup. Has Psychic, Colorless, Full Mood, Rondo. 20 plus damage. This attack does 20 more damage for each bench Pokemon. With a lot of the Terra Pokemon going around with their stadium expanding their bench, this punishes those decks as well as the Dragon deck. Pretty good card, just a one-of. We have one copy of Mew EX, 180 HP basic Pokemon with the ability Restart. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. This helps when our hand size is getting low. Just a little bit of a refresh. For 3 colorless, Genome Hacking. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon attacks and use it for this attack. Most of the time it's just on the bench, but it does have a free retreat, so we can pull it up just to pivot when we need to. Just a one of. Running 4 copies of Monkey Dory. Has the ability of Drain a Brain. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon has any dark energy attached, you can move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. This allows us to snipe Pokemon that they retreat, take out the opponent's damaged active Pokemon, and then finish them off with our attacker. For a Psychic and a Colorless, has Mind Bend, 60 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. This card is good because not only is it a damage counter mover, it also can actually attack if needed. 4 copies here, great card. Running 3 copies of Rolts, 70 HP, with a Psychic Colorless Psyshot, 30 damage. This is from SBI. 2 copies of Krylia, 90 HP from SBI as well. We don't really attack with any of these until we get Gardevoir up. But if we have to, she has Magical Shot for 30, and then Psychic is 60 plus, does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. It is a single retreat. 2 copies of Gardevoir EX, 310 HP. This is the main card we're trying to get to as fast as possible to turn the rest of the deck online. The ability Psychic Embrace is often used like during your turn. You may attach a basic Psychic Energy card from your discard pile to one of your Psychic Pokemon. If you attach energy to a Pokemon in this way, you put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon, but you cannot use this ability on a Pokemon that would be knocked out. For 2 Psychic and a Colorless, Miracle Force for 190, and this Pokemon recovers from all special conditions. This card enables us to have damage on our Pokemon for Monkey Dory. It also enables our Screamtail to get damage on it so that we can snipe a Pokemon off the bench if we need to. So this is the main card we're trying to keep on the field as long as possible. We prioritize having this one over a lot of the other ones. Running a single copy of Screamtail, like I said, it helps with the Gardevoir being able to push the counters to it. You can put 4 on it to get it up to 80 damage, so we could snipe for 180 to anything on the field. With its Roaring Scream, Psychic Colorless does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each damage counter on this. You don't apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon. For 1 Psychic, it can slap for 30 damage as well. 1 copy of Pheasantipity EX. Flip the script. Once during your turn, if any of your opponent's Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you may draw 3 cards. You can't use it more than 1 Flip the Script ability each turn. It does have the ability Cruel Arrow for 3 colorless energy. Deals 100 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Key note, this is a dark, so we cannot cheat energy on it with Gardevoir EX, but it's still a great card. A way to refill our hand after our opponent Ionos us, or we just need to get better stuff. 1 single copy of Counter Catcher. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. But we can only use this card if we have more prize cards. This just helps us pull up what we need to finish off the game, or if we're behind a little bit, we can put the opponent's Pokemon that's doing a lot of damage to us on the bench, bring up something where they need to find an answer, a way to retreat that Pokemon out of the way. 3 copies of Earthen Vessel. This is a good way for us to add Psychic Energy to our discard pile, because we can only use this card if we discard another card from our hand. It searches our deck for 2 basic energy cards. We put them in our hand and shuffle our deck. This allows us to get the Dark Energy from Monkey Dory, as well as a Psychic Energy if we need to attach, or we can use it to chain either with Earthen Vessel, Ultra Ball, or even a good old-fashioned Professor's Research. Just trying to get the Psychic Energy into the discard pile for us to cheat it out with Gardevoir is kind of the play here. 1 copy of Energy Switch. Sometimes we get a little bit behind on getting our dark energy, so we can move 1 single dark energy from 1 Monkey Dory after using a Drain of Brain. We could switch it over to another one, use a Drain of Brain as well. This will also just help us if we need that extra energy to do an attack with our Pokemon. 2 copies of Nest Ball here. It searches your deck for a basic Pokemon right to your bench. This helps us get our Mew EX, our Pheasantippities, Monkey Dories, stuff that some of our other cards are limited on what we can grab. This one just allows us to get them out. Running 2 copies of Night Stretcher. Put a Pokemon or a basic energy from your discard pile to your hand. This helps us keep the Gardevoir line alive if need be. If we ended up having to discard a dark energy early in the match, then we need it back for Monkey Dory. It gives us options to help close out games or get us back into the game if we're behind. 2 copies of Rare Candy. This is for the Gardevoir line. Just a way for us to go from Ralts right into Gardevoir EX as soon as possible. So we get to choose one of our basic Pokemon in play. If we have a stage 2 in our hand that evolves from that, we can put it onto the basic Pokemon to evolve it, but we can't use it during our first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. Pretty standard with evolution decks. Our ace spec for the deck is Secret Box, so we have to discard 3 other cards to use it, but we get to search for an item card, a tool, a supporter, and a stadium, and reveal them, put them into our hand, shuffle our deck. Great, just getting us the pieces we need to get to where we need to be at the match if we're behind or if we're just trying to close out the game. It gives us the key pieces to do that. Single copy of Super Rod. This just shuffles 3 at any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from our discard pile back into our deck. We're using this just as a way to reset our Gardevoir line if they happen to take out all 3 of our Ralts, or if we don't have any more Ralts available to us, we can get them back in to the deck and use some of our other item cards and resources to get our Ralts back to the bench in order to start building the Gardevoir line again. This also helps us recycle Monkey Dories. It helps us recycle our Mew, our Pheasantippities, whatever we need. Just a good all-around card. We are running 4 copies of Ultra Ball here, so we have to discard 2 other cards, but then we get to grab any Pokemon we want, reveal it, put it in our hand, shuffle our deck. This just gets us the piece we need for either the Gardevoir line, the Monkey Dories, the Screamtail, the Lily's Cafillary. Just a great card. Running 4 copies just gives us what we need when we need it. The discarding 2 cards isn't too bad, especially if we have Psychic Energy in hand, because that just fills the great discard pile for Gardevoir. 2 copies of our Stadium Artisan. Once during each player's turn, the player may search their deck for a basic Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box and put it on the bench. So this doesn't help us get Pheasantipity or Mew EX, but it helps us get the Ralt, Screamtail, and other cards that we need for the deck. So we're running 2 copies of Stadium, because we definitely want to have at least a couple stadiums in the deck so that our opponent doesn't have complete control over what stadium's in play at all time, especially against Grimmsnarl. Keeping the Spiked Mouth Gym alive is extremely devastating for this deck, so we want to have an answer to get their stadium off the field as well. We're running 2 copies of Arvin. Search your deck for an item card and a Pokemon tool, reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. This mainly helps us get the Rare Candy, get the Gardevoir line. It'll also help us get our secret box if we need to get different things going. Whatever pieces we're missing, this just helps us get there. The Pokemon tool, if we don't need it, we still grab it so we can use it for an Ultra Ball or Earthen Vessel, whatever we need. Single copy of Boss's Orders. Switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. Same kind of concept. We're just trying to control a little bit here. This is more of a control card. We can bring up what we need to in order to help us finish off the game. If we're down to 2 prizes cards left remaining, they have a damaged EX on the back. We just bring it up, take it out, and close the game out. Running 4 copies of our supporter Iono. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it at the bottom of their deck. If either player put any cards at the bottom of their deck in this way, each player draws cards for each of their remaining prize cards. So when your opponent has collected a ton of cards in hand, we can kind of mess up what they're doing by making them redraw a couple cards. Also, when our hands are completely dead, just a fresh redraw is always good to have. We have 4 copies of Research. We just discard our hand, draw 7 cards. This is good just to help us. Like I said, sometimes our hands are just dead. And if we have multiple Psychic Energy in the hand, just discarding with the Research gets them in the discard pile for Gardevoir EX to start actually utilizing them more effectively. We have a couple tools for the deck. We have Bravery Charm. The basic Pokemon this card is attached to gets 50 HP. Main targets for this is Screamtail. That's the main one we put it on, just so we can get some extra damage on it with the Gardevoir's ability. Some versions run the Drifloon. Same concept. We have 2 copies of TM Evolution. It's attached to a Pokemon, can use the attack, but if it is attached to one of your Pokemon, you discard at the end of the turn. So Evolution, you get to choose 2 of your bench Pokemon for each of those Pokemon. Search your deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it onto the bench to evolve it. This just helps us get Gardevoir easier, because if we have the Krylia already active on the bench and we have the TM Evolution, we can go right into Gardevoir for next turn. Running a single copy of Technical Machine Turbo Energize, same concept. If it's at the end of your turn, if this is attached, you have to trash it, so make sure you're using it. For 1 colorless Turbo Energize, search your deck for 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your bench Pokemon any way you like, then shuffle your deck. I use this mostly to help the Monkey Dories. I'll go grab the 2 Dark Energy if I have 2 Monkey Dories, so they have their Dark Energy ready to go. Or if we need the Psychic Energy on something, it's there. But I use it mostly for Monkey Dory, but it's just any 2 basics, so you can grab the Psychic or the Dark. Speaking of that, we have 4 copies of our Darkness Energy, just to make sure Monkey Dory is not just a dead card or an attacker in the deck. We can actually utilize its Adrenaline Brain ability as well. Last card of the deck, we're running 7 copies of our Psychic Energy, because that is the main attacks of the deck is Psychic, and Gardevoir likes to have these in the discard pile so that we can push them to our Pokemon and our Psychic Pokemon in any way which we like, adding some damage counters for Monkey Dory to push them around. Overall, this deck's pretty fun. It did win a big tournament recently, and this is the winning list from that player as well. So I've been trying it out on the ladder. It's pretty good. It's pretty consistent. So some of the weakness to it is obviously Grimmsnarl with that dark weakness ×2. But it's not an unwinnable matchup at all. Like, if you can control their board and keep their Impidimps from evolving, you're doing all right. That's where Screamtail's kind of nice. Since we have Monkey Dories as well, we can push the damage back. If they're doing 30 to us, to our bench or whatever, or their Frostlass, we can push the damage back. So that is a huge factor in the Gardevoir Grimmsnarl matchup. Dragapult is another big deck. Gardevoir does all right with it, from my experience only. Like I said, I'm not a high-level player by any means. I've just recently got back into the game. But Dragapult's not unwinnable. I mean, obviously, if they have the amazing start, I mean, it's kind of hard. Any deck that has an amazing start is going to be hard to beat. But Gardevoir is pretty good. I feel it's a pretty good matchup into it. Those are like the top 3. Now, I have ran across some Garchomp decks, but we have the resistance -30 here. The only weakness in the Garchomp deck, some people run the Spiritomb, but would we have the resistance to the Garchomp, which is good, and we can push the damage to basically against the Garchomp. We're trying to just eliminate. We don't really. Well, we could take care of the Garchomps, but it's really the Roserades in the back that are increasing the output damage. So, but overall, it's a fun deck. Yeah, we got some gameplay of it coming, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I mean, it's not great, but it's a hand. We do have Iono, we have Nest Ball. We're going to start with Mew due to the free retreat, and then we'll Clefairy on the back. So we have the Nest Ball, Earthen Vessel, which is good. If I'm not mistaken, the opponent is going to be going first. Alright, so we get an Ultra Ball due to the opponent mulliganing. They have to start with Fez, which is not good for them. But we don't really have any immediate threats on board anyways. Nest Ball, Squawkabilly. So they can discard their hand to draw 6 if they want to on their first turn. And that's what they're going to do. Ultra Ball, Hops, Choice Band, and Arben. Duraludon. Alright, Psychic Energy to the Fez. Fez is such a cool card. Bravery Charm on Clefairy. Nest Ball. Let's grab a Ralts. We're going to Ultra Ball, Earthen Vessel, and our Psychic Energy. Let's grab Fez. We're going to Iono. And they get a redraw as well, but it's fine. So, Monkey Dory, Earthen Vessel. Let's get rid of a Ralts. Grab one of each. We're going to put an energy on Monkey Dory. We're going to retreat Mew for Monkey Dory. I'm going to use Turbo. Going to put some energy around. Going to get some Psychic. I'm going to put them on Clefairy. Put both on Clefairy, actually. Then next turn, we can put an energy on Monkey Dory, retreat it, and bring up Clefairy if we want to, like Krylia. Or we could always smack for 60 as well. Which is cool with Monkey Dory in the Gardevoir deck, is we can actually use it as an attacker, unlike Grimmsnarl. It just sits there to push damage. We can actually, if we have to pivot as an attacker, we can. Alright, so I'm going to play a Super Rod. Probably get a bunch of their stuff back. Yep. They're only getting 2, though. They're getting their EXs back. Another energy on Fez. Alright, so this Fez could start to be an issue. Because they're almost ready to attack. That's 100 damage wherever they want it. I mean, this isn't great. I like my other hand better. Alright, there's Hops, Zacian EX, and Hops' Snorlax. So I'm assuming this is like a Hops deck. I think we need to value... Let's go Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball, Ralts. Grab Krylia. So we have 2 Pokemon already in the discard. We could Super Rod. Yeah, Super Rod. Just going to put the Ralts back in. We want to keep the energy in the trash. We'll play the other Monkey Dory, that's fine. And then we're going to research. Alright, so not horrible. Not horrible. Monkey Dory here. Let's go Energy Switch. I want to start pressuring the Fez because they can already start. They're already about ready to close it up at 100 damage. So let's at least try to confuse them. Do Mind Bend on them. So there's a chance that they don't snipe something for 100. I'm assuming they're going to go after Krylia here. Makes the most sense. So we still have Artisan, Nestball, Arvin, and Screamtail. We don't have a spot on the bench for Screamtail yet. Alright, so they did power up the Fez. That's 100 damage to one of our Pokemon. And then they played the Friends in Paldea, draw 3, and then they played down Postwick, which is the Hops Stadium for 30 additional damage. I don't foresee them retreating this. Now they're going to attempt to attack through a retreat, or through a confusion. So they did themselves 30 damage, which is great. We still don't have enough. So we're going to Arvin, see if we can find something that's going to help us. I mean, we can grab the TM Evolution, which is fine. Nothing else really here. We've grabbed Nice Stretcher. Nothing else is really useful. Nestball we can't use. Nice Stretcher just gives us an energy, right? Out of the trash. So I think we're going to actually retreat Monkey Dory and bring up Clefairy. Put another energy on Clefairy. And then we're going to smack for 220, which is going to take out the Fez. So that confusion just bought us a little bit of time. Alright, so we definitely need to get a Gardevoir down before they can snipe the Krylia off the bench. And Zacian has a good ability that could deal 30 damage. But we have 2 Monkey Dories to push damage back. So they have the Hops as banned, which there's an energy, so they don't need it. Research drawing them 7. Assuming they're going to get a Hops' choice band here. 30, 60, 90. It's a lot of... Oh, and we're weak to metal. We're almost... Yeah, if they can get an extra power boost here, this Clefairy is going to get one-shotted, which is not good. So we're going to have to use Secret Box next turn. Probably get rid of the Rare Candy, the Nest Ball, and Evolution. Because we're going to have to get into that Gardevoir, like, immediately. Alright, Nice Stretcher. Getting an energy back, it looks like. Insta Strike. 30 damage going to the bench, and a bunch of damage going to Clefairy. I don't think they could take it out, but I could be wrong. 180? Nope, good. Yeah, so that was pretty scary there. Alright, so we're going to go... actually, I can't trash the Artisan. I have to use Artisan here just to get their stadium out of the way. Secret Box. Let's get rid of Nest Ball, Evolution, and Rare Candy. We're going to go with Iono, Earthen Vessel, and TM Evolution. Earthen Vessel, get rid of TM Evolution. Get 2 Psychic Energy. Let's put 1 here. I think we've already used the Ultra Balls we do have. Yeah, 3. I don't think we have. We might have 4. Do I want to Arbin? I'm going to use Arbin. See if we can get... that didn't... All right, so nothing we want. We don't want any of this. Could have grabbed something, but there was really nothing I wanted. So we're going to heal some damage here from this Clefairy. Not that it's going to matter, but at least we can start to weaken something in the back. So this is Drain Brain. Here we go. Going to push a little damage to the Snorlax. Night Stretchers or anything we want. No. Alright, so we're just going to smack for 220 on... Oh, we should have put some on here. I didn't think we were up that high. That sucks. Alright. That was a misplay. I did not think that this thing was hitting that hard. I should have pushed 30 of that damage here. Then they would have been completely probably locked out of the game because they have nothing else set up. And now we'll be on that point where we have nothing else set up. Yeah, that was a clear misplay here. We should have used 30 of that damage to the Zacian. Yeah. So they're definitely going to retreat this, but what are they bringing up? Maybe the EX evolving into one of these guys? Crispin. Alright, so there's an energy. I only got one energy. I went to hand. Insta Strike. Yeah, it's going to take out the Clefairy, unfortunately. But I think we'll be okay. So we're going to bring up Mew because of the pre-retreat. Monkey Dory. Do we want Screamtail or Monkey Dory? I think we go... Let's go Screamtail. Put an energy on our Krylia. The Night Stretcher is not... We really don't want this Clefairy back because it's weak to metal. But I mean, it is a good card. But we are going to Iono. We're going to each get 4 cards back. And there's the Gardevoir. There's the Gardevoir, which is good. Alright, so we're going to use a Drain of Brain, protecting the Mew here. We're going to take out this Zacian EX. Got a couple prize cards. See if they want to bring up. I think whatever they bring up, we're going to bring up Gardevoir and take it out anyways. Because we still have another Drain of Brain with one of our Monkey Dories. Alright, so we don't need to put damage there. So we are going to use this Drain of Brain and push it to the Snorlax. We are going to retreat our Mew for Gardevoir. Use Gardevoir's effect. We're going to put 1 on Gardevoir. It takes 20, which is fine. And we're going to put 2 on Screamtail. So that has some damage ready to go. And let's put the last one on... Put it on Mew. Just so we have some options to push damage next turn around. We're going to use Fez. Draw some cards. Alright, nothing there. So we can go 190 here. Take out one of these Pokemon. There's an Ultra Ball. So we have 2 Monkey Dories set up to push damage. We have the Screamtail that can come up and do 80 damage to a bench Pokemon. So we can take the Snorlax out immediately, unless they heal it. Alright, so they're evolving into Archaludon EX. So they get to evolve. They can attach 2 basic Psychic or Metal Energy from the discard pile to the Metal. Alright, cool. So that's going to put this online, doing 220 damage, which is not going to take it out. And there's a second one in the back. So our game plan here is to just bring up Screamtail and snipe the Snorlax. Another Zacian EX, Zacian. So that'll defend her 220 damage. That's a lot of damage we could push. Actually, we don't even need to... Do we need to do that? Alright, so we're going to actually... Let's just boss his order up. We don't even have to do all this fancy footwork. We can just take care of it this way. Because 190 takes it out. So let's just take care of this. Alright, good game, opponent. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.